In this episode of On the Throttle, we look at ways to recession-proof your business. We find out how 20 groups can improve. We take a look at a different kind of e-bike with the Segway Xafari. And on a technical note, we dive into the differences between oxygen sensors and AFR sensors.
On the Throttle is sponsored by Bridgestone Motorcycle Tires. Solutions for your journey.
Hey everyone, I'm Greg Jones with MPN. If your business strategy is based on the assumption that the powersports category is recession-proof, you're not paying attention, because the market shift is starting. According to Maggie Stevens of Powersports Playbook, most dealers treat consumer stress like someone else's problem, until it hits their bottom lines. But the ones who win, they adapt before the market makes them. How? They tighten operations to preserve profit. They don't hire more managers without a clear path to profit, because a bloated payroll leads to layoffs later. They don't mistake foot traffic for healthy demand. They listen to what customers say yes to and why they did it. They prepare for contraction the same way they prepared for growth, with direction to the company's North Star, data in their DMS, and discipline to train instead of just always hiring because they're busy. They future-proof fixed ops because when sales dip, service and parts become the bridge to stable revenue. Check out the full article on the MPN website. Looking for more ways to future-proof fixed ops? In a recent episode of Beyond the Showroom, we get additional advice from Maggie Stevens of Powersports Playbook on why 20 groups are great, but how they could be even better.
One thing that I would love to see more 20 groups do is they do not bring their parts and service departments to the meetings. And hear me out. So you're probably thinking, yeah, but they train on that, so what's it matter? Yeah. It's a game of telephone, and it drives me insane, absolutely insane. So if let's just dive right into it. I'm a 20 group, and I am on it. I'm the owner and my GM. We're both on the 20 group. We do the meetings. We do all the networking. It's fantastic. I learn from my peers. There's all this great kumbaya going on. Fantastic, right? Then they do a module on let's make your parts department more profitable. And I, as the owner, have to train the parts manager when I have never done their job a day in my life, how to do their job better. How well do you think that's gonna go over?
Be sure to catch the full episode on our YouTube channel or website. Recalibrating your views or processes can pay out great dividends. Most e-bike companies start with a great bike design and tack on technology. Segway, on the other hand, starts with a tech stack when developing its micromobility solutions. Case in point, the 2025 Xafari. MPN editor Megan Kusick spoke with Nick Howe, head of the e-bike project for Segway, to learn more about this vehicle.
Most bike companies are developing fabulous bicycles and then trying to attach a couple of technologies onto the top. Segway looked at this a different way. We're really a technology company first. We talk about tech stacks in relation to product development. We don't talk about bicycles and then hope that we can add a technology or two. So you have this really deep range of technologies in this bicycle. For example, you have proximity locking like you would have in your car, where you can ride up to a destination. The bicycle is tethered to your phone the same way it might be tethered to your key fob in your vehicle. And you can literally get off the bike, put the kickstand down. You walk away, and after about 10 feet, the bike will lock. It sets an alarm just like your vehicle does.
Be sure to catch the full episode on our YouTube channel or website. Now, to dive into some tech, if you're working on a powersport engine with fuel injection made during the past decade, chances are you deal with an air-fuel ratio or AFR sensor. This is where it can get confusing because most manufacturers will call it an oxygen sensor. But an AFR sensor can see a greater range of rich and lean. Unlike a conventional oxygen sensor, an AFR sensor does not generate a voltage. Instead, the sensor is provided with a reference voltage, which is the oxygen differential between the exhaust gases and pump cells. The goal is to keep the voltage constant and measure the current as an indication of the air-fuel ratio. This is a far more accurate system, but it requires higher temperatures to operate. The heater for an AFR sensor is more powerful and will heat the sensor to a higher temperature faster. So, what happens when the heater fails? To learn more, head to our website to read the full article. All right, guys, that's a wrap on this week's On the Throttle. Check out the full stories of these highlights and more on motorcyclepowersportsnews.com. Be sure to like and subscribe to get notified when the next episode drops. Thanks for watching.